All right, so welcome to Lakeland College Open House. Thank you all for joining us today. My name is Ashley, and I'm the Inclusive Education Coordinator at Lakeland College. We are an initiative supported with a partnership with Inclusion Alberta. So just so that everybody is aware, oh no, it's not going to let me. Oh, there we go. So this is just the FOIP statement, just to give you a little minute to review that. So protecting your privacy. This session is recorded, so if you can turn off your cameras and your microphones, avoid background noise as well. So today I am joined by Darren, who is the coordinator of Inclusive Post-Secondary at MacEwan. So Inclusive Post-Secondary is an initiative supported by Inclusion Alberta, which is a family-based nonprofit organization that advocates with adults for children that have disabilities in their families. Together, we share a dream of meaningful life and community inclusion for all. So Inclusion Alberta partners with post-secondary institutes across Alberta to provide opportunities for post-secondary education for students with developmental disabilities. Adults with developmental disabilities pursue post-secondary education for the same reasons as anybody else: to start their career, to meet like-minded people, and to fulfill their dreams. So this quote just speaks a little bit as to what the spirit of inclusion is. The woods would be very quiet if no birds sang there, except those who sang best. So there are three values that inform the work and the way that we support students. So we know that regardless of disability or ability, everybody can learn. However, society views those with disabilities from more of a deficit perspective rather than seeing their strengths and abilities. We see tremendous growth in students who are supported through inclusive post-secondary, not just academically, but in their confidence and their identity. Students find their passion and those who think like them in post-secondary, and this allows students we support to grow into thriving young adults. We believe that everyone can work, and meaningful paid employment is possible for all students that we support. All of us work for a variety of reasons, whether this is because your income requires it, to make a difference, to meet people, and to contribute to society. We know that this is true for the students that we support too. So shown here in this picture is a Lakeland College student that is employed at the Lloydminster Animal Hospital. So he was actually recently recalled to work following a temporary layoff due to COVID because of the value that he holds in his position at the animal hospital. Not only does this student do remarkable work, but he's actually a part of the team, and the team is better because he is there. The relationship that the student has developed with his coworkers can be seen in their relationship outside of work hours as well. So the team gets together every year and they all pitch in to create a float for the Lloydminster Parade. Having everyone present and contributing makes our classrooms, the college programs, and the college campus richer and stronger. Our lives and our education are poor without full diversity of our community there to participate. While these seem intuitive and pretty straightforward, these values are very much countercultural to what people with developmental disabilities experience today. So the support that we provide to families is rooted in creating a life as ordinary as possible. So growing up at home, being included in regular classrooms and schools, having friends, having dreams, participating in recreation, going to college and university, getting a job, pursuing a career, having a home of their own. So the Inclusive Post-Secondary Initiative at Lakeland College actually began in 2007, and to date, 13 students have completed their studies and graduated alongside with their peers. So this is a initiative that we have been refining for nearly 30 years, and Alberta has kind of created the standard for supporting students. So Lakeland College is one of over 20 post-secondary initiatives in Alberta, and we support 3 students between 2 campuses. Our supports are funded by the Ministry of Human Services, and Lakeland College actually was recognized by Inclusion Alberta for a Community Inclusion Award in 2009.
Okay, so I'm going to speak a bit to the supports that we specifically provide to students that are receiving supports through inclusive post-secondary. So one of our primary goals is that students who receive the supports of inclusive post-secondary education have an authentic student experience. This again speaks to that typical or ordinary life path that we believe everyone has the right to experience. And as it relates to attending university, this means that we want students that we support to have the same experiences that any other student on campus would have. This includes taking a program and courses that flow with the student's goals and dreams. Experiencing the stresses and successes of assignments, exams, and projects, having the opportunity to make new connections and form new friendships, and finally following a career path and finding employment in a field related to their studies. These all speak to the three key areas of our supports, which are academic supports, social inclusion, and employment supports. Now I'd like to speak in a bit more detail on these three areas. First, how we support students to fully participate academically. The students we support are considered to have enhanced audit status. In case you don't know how that works at the university level, a typical audit student is a passive participant in a class and doesn't really do assignments or interact much with peers and instructors. In contrast to this, the students we support, though technically audit students, do participate fully in their courses. They do assignments, group projects, exams, etc. Their audit status allows us to collaborate with instructors to modify or individualize the assignments, such that the students we support, that we're respecting and sort of focusing on their learning style and strengths. And this provides the opportunity for students to really express themselves in unique ways, and especially their learning. A student's week looks similar to any other students. That includes classes, study groups, homework, recreation, field placements, work, and spending time with friends. And students, as I mentioned, students participate in all aspects of their courses. So that's lectures, labs, assignments, group projects, quizzes, tests, exams, and work integrated learning or field placements. And the students we support also follow a coherent program of study. Usually it follows along. If a program is typically 2 years, a student would typically go through that program within the same 2 years, although some students will do that over 3 or 4 years, depending on the circumstances. As far as the day-to-day stuff goes, we support students directly to, like, we usually meet with students once or multiple times a week for 1 to 2 hours, to support them with studying for quizzes and tests, accessing their student portals, reviewing readings and course materials, helping them to find resources for assignments, researching, and etc. We also collaborate closely with instructors through sharing info about students' interests, preferences, learning styles, providing examples of individualized outcomes and assessments, identifying flexible ways students can contribute to class and groups, and help with all aspects of adapting, modifying coursework. A bit more about those modifications. As I stated earlier, we individualize course materials to suit the learner's needs. This can include such things as shortening assignments and exams, creating assignments that are more visual in nature, supporting members in a group project to find meaningful ways to include a student, and many other ways. Also, for a number of programs at Lakeland, hands-on learning is an essential part of the student experience, and we work closely with programs and instructors to provide these same hands-on learning experiences to the students that we support. Some examples of this include students in the veterinary and medical assistant program participate fully in all labs alongside their peers. So that we such things as learning and practicing appropriate holds and restraints of animals, procedures for cattle, sheep handling labs, learning locations on live animals for appropriate injection sites, kennel care in the early mornings and evenings. Students also participate in biology and chemistry labs alongside their classmates. They participate in school trips and outside campus labs. An example of this would be PEDS class teaching elementary students phys ed activities throughout the semester in their elementary schools. Of course, this would be in sort of pre-COVID times and hopefully after restrictions are lifted on COVID. Also in early learning and childcare, students learn practical skills in the college daycare, working alongside other childcare providers to design and administer activities for the children that meet certain learning objectives. Specifically at Lakeland College, we partner with the School of Business and specifically small business in the entrepreneur major, agricultural sciences, so the veterinary medical assistant, animal health tech, university transfer for both arts and sciences, interior design, the esthetician program in health and wellness, and then a number of programs within human services. So these are programs that have or are currently including students. Another piece is that we support students a great deal with is social inclusion. So we want to ensure that students have the opportunity to be involved on campus and are supported in all aspects of college life alongside their peers. They have the choice to live in residence on either campus, join clubs and recreation groups, both on campus and in their community alongside their peers. Some clubs and teams that have included students are the Agility Club, the Environment Club, the Veterinary Medical Assistant Club, the rowing team, volleyball team, and the Students Ambassadors and others. The last piece around customized employment. So an interesting stat here. So for the students who have gone to college through inclusive post-secondary, 70 to 90% leave with paid employment opportunities. This is in stark contrast to the approximately 80% unemployment rate for people with developmental disabilities in Alberta. We work closely with families, students and faculty, employers, and community members to develop meaningful and valued employment opportunities for the students we support, both during their time at college, so in sort of typical student type jobs, and also in preparation for jobs that they might want that follow their career path after they graduate and finish their studies. We support students, families, and employers throughout the employment journey to not only find employment opportunities, but to sustain that employment after they've attained it. Also, Inclusion Alberta and Inclusion Lloydminster and the Rotary Employment Partnership has supported the development of over 80 jobs in Lloydminster.
All right, so students' interests and dreams are always the driving force in finding a career in the job that they love. So on this slide here, you can see these are just a sample of employers that have previously hired students supported by Inclusion Alberta and the Inclusive Post-Secondary Initiative at Lakeland College. So upon the completion of their studies, students participate in Convocation alongside their classmates and peers by walking across the stage to receive their certificate of completion. Students' hard work is recognized and they get to share this accomplishment with their family and friends. After Convocation, students focus on their careers and stay connected to their peers. Students might move out alone or with friends, travel, and continue to flourish in their areas of interest. Post-secondary truly opens the doors to a life full of opportunity and dreams for students supported by Inclusive Post-Secondary. So if you have any questions or anything that you would like to know more about, you feel free to reach out to me through my email there. Thank you for taking the time to learn a little bit more with us. We appreciate you taking the time to spend with us this afternoon.